Good morning, folks. You're tuned into Car Connection, where the coffee's strong, the stories are real, and the wrenches never stop turning. I'm your host, Nile Motormouth Jenkins, coming to you from the Car Connection workshop, where the smell of fresh oil and little elbow grease is all part of a balanced breakfast. And around here, we don't just talk cars, we live them. Whether it's a 25-year-old Jeep Wrangler getting a second chance at life or a Nissan Rogue getting its brakes back in order, could even be a mystery leak that's got everyone scratching their heads. This is where we roll up our sleeves and get it done with a little wit, a little wisdom, and a whole lot of fun. The Car Connection isn't just about nuts, bolts, and diagnostics. It's about connection. Connection to our vehicles, to the people who drive them, and to the community that keeps Niagara rolling. Because when you fix a car, you're not just turning a wrench. You're restoring someone's confidence, freedom, and maybe even their sanity. We're here every week, Monday through Saturday, helping you keep your ride safe, reliable, and ready for whatever road lies ahead. So whether you're a weekend wrencher, a daily commuter, or someone who just wants to understand what that strange rattle really means, welcome aboard. Stick around for shop talk, expert advice, few good laughs, and maybe even a flashback service-based story. And I'll tell you, you cannot make that stuff up. Absolutely not. Well, good morning to you, and welcome to the Motormouth Morning Drive. It's Saturday. We've made it to the weekend. For you weekend warriors that work weekends like I have for 32 years. Not complaining. Remember, never complain, never explain. If you're in the queue for the drive-thru, it is Saturday morning. Make sure you check your goodies before you drive away. We'll give you a couple minutes before we launch our morning swiggy. I've got mine ready here. I made a few adjustments to it this morning. We'll see how that pans out. I think I found the solution to the concern. Remember, there's always 4 C's, right? Concern, cause, correction, confirmation. Those are the things you want to see on your work orders. So when you go to a service shop, this was on my mind yesterday, and I thought I saved it for you while I was sleeping. It didn't fall out on my pillow. So I thought I'd better get into reminding you about the 4 C's. When you go to the service desk, you want to make sure that on your work order, all 4 C's are covered. From the time you get there to the time you leave. And ladies, this is how you're going to catch them if they're trying to take advantage of you and scoff your money. Concern, cause, correction, confirmation. So the concern is, this is why I'm here with my car. So for each concern, there should be a separate line, a separate entity on the work order. So if you have 4 things that are concerns, how many lines should be covered? 4. Not all crammed into 1. Work orders need to be put together correctly. So if you have 4 concerns on your vehicle, guess what? 4 lines, 4 concerns. Then we move to concern, cause, diagnostics. And here's what I want to remind you, and I have done a podcast on this, so you have to go looking for it. The podcast is up on our YouTube channel, so you have only 241 to review, but it will be there. I did a whole podcast back in the early spring on work orders. What happens from the moment you land at the service desk to the time they call you to pick it up and it's finished. Give them 1 hour diagnostic time. Close the gate or the cows get out. It's a farm thing. Right. If we leave the gates open, 1 cow goes out, they all go out. And they're all out of the paddock. So you only give them 1 hour. Or if in some cases, I recommend go 30 minutes of diag and a phone call follow-up. So that way you haven't spent an hour when they could have done it in half an hour. You follow me? So concerns, each gets its own line. Cause, I would technically in today's world, 30 minutes. 30 minutes of diag with a follow-up so they don't get you in too deep. Just saying, I'm on your side. So concern, cause, correction. What is it going to take to make correction on each one of those 4 items I mentioned as an example? 4 items, 4 lines, diagnostic time. If diagnostic time is required because there's a concern, a problem, the service light's on, for example, why? 30 minutes and a follow-up. So concern, cause, correction. What is it going to take? Parts, labor, tax, all in. So there's no surprises. You want an estimate on each one of those, not combined together. So item 1 is, here's the concern, here's what we found to be the cause, here's the component that needs correction, replacing, repairing, servicing, whatever. Here's the price for that item, number 1, all in. So that way, at the end of the day, when you go to pick up, you should have all the information already. So in today's world, with being able to text you at work or email you, connect with you through Zoom, whatever, or fire off pictures to you, it makes things a whole lot quicker, a whole lot easier, and a whole lot more accurate. So concern, cause, correction, and confirmation. That's their end. That's their job. That's the service writer's job. That's the service manager's job. That's the technician's job. But it's someone road tests the vehicle before they call you to make sure that the repair work and service work is confirmed. It's done. The car is ready. So I thought I'd throw that in right out of the gate this morning because it seems to be still an ongoing problem. When I was with Volkswagen, we spent a whole week in seminars making sure that everyone was on the same page, whether it was here or in Albuquerque, Volkswagen. I don't know why I said that. Could have made a left-hand turn there. May have made a wrong turn. That all the service writers at the VW stores are writing service orders exactly the same. Because especially if it's warranty, you better make sure that we have all 4 C's covered. Otherwise, the warranty claim gets kicked back. And that has nothing to do with the consumer. That has everything to do with the service writer, service manager, general manager, all the managers managing and making sure that everyone is doing things correctly. So, okay, there you go, folks. I bought you a little time through the drive-thru. Let's have our morning swiggy together, and let's say thank you to Earl and Louise Grant, Mr. and Mrs. Grant at City Auto Sales and Leasing. You or someone you know is in the market for a pre-owned vehicle, send them here. They're safe there. They can buy with confidence and be treated with nothing less than honesty and integrity. And Earl's a car guy. Mama Louise will take really good care of you. She will love all over you. You have the most interesting and amazing vehicle purchasing experience you've ever had in your entire life. Yeah, because they're more than just sales there. You're a person to them. And they want you to come back. They want you to be happy. They want to make sure you're not upside down and sideways in a vehicle that you're not going to be able to. You're going to be able to just barely make the payment, but coming down to reality is gas, maintenance, insurance, that all has to be in there. So you got a great husband and wife team there that are going to look after you. Low mileage, quality vehicles at fair prices. That's why they are Greater Toronto Area's premier pre-owned auto store. And I have driven 2.5, 3 hours to get to a vehicle because I established a good relationship with the seller. It was a private seller. And she earned the title of trustworthy. I asked for certain things. She answered the questions. She took photographs and sent them to me. And that's how you establish a great working relationship. So I have purchased a lot of vehicles 2, 3, 4 hours away from my homestead because I've developed a relationship. And you have that relationship already with Earl and Louise Grant at City Auto Sales and Leasing. They have in-house leasing and financing available to you. So you can buy safe there. If they don't have the vehicle you're looking for, don't be afraid to ask and let Earl know, I'm looking for this. And if he says we're going to have to wait a little bit, what's coming through is not good enough. Then trust Earl's judgment, because I'll tell you, I'm a car guy and a car enthusiast, but I'll tell you, he is 10 stories above me. So on 3, 2, 1, that's how we do it. So newbies, you're going to have to catch up because it's Q&A Saturday. There's a lot of things happening here in the Car Connection studio this morning to get everything taken care of on time. So on 3, 2, 1, we have our favorite morning beverage. Whatever yours is, that's just fine. For us, it's high octane, not a penny less. 3, 2, 1. That's not it. There's something missing, man. I'm not on it. I'm going to have to go back to the drawing board, and I have a concern. We need to find the cause and move towards correction, and then confirm it with a morning swiggy. Yeah, I don't know what that is, man. Something smells rotten in Denmark. What do you think that is? Limburger cheese. Yeah, I can't do it. It's like buttermilk. Can't do that either. But although I do like buttermilk pancakes, but buttermilk itself, no, not happening. Well, I want to say thank you to the ladies again for sending in the emails with their questions that make up this morning's Saturday Motor Mouth's Morning Drive Q&A session. Questions and answers. You have to have your questions in by noon on Friday, friends. So by noon, because then I'm already putting the agenda and the outline for the program together for you. I want it all to line up like chiclets or Dominoes or chocolate chip cookies lined up in a row. Yeah, really good ones. So thank you to Joanne, Irene, and KateLyn for sending in your questions. Those are the 3 back to back, and I've sewn them all together. So we're going to get to those in just a couple of minutes. Our Car Connection maintenance schedule kits are ready to go out the door. Have you ordered yours yet? If you have not, go to our website, which brings me to, that's where you'll find more episodes and project details and links are available at carconnectionbusinessnetwork.com. That's ccbusnet.com. You'll find everything on our homepage if you'd like to follow the build and repair work we do in the shop. And we're just kicking off a brand new series, and you'll have to check that out. We've already posted up the video, the introduction video to the vehicle, so no, I'm not going to spoil it. You'll have to watch the introductory video and what we're going to be doing to that vehicle to get it back out on the road. And again, it all adds up to repairs and maintenance. How you get an opportunity to see what maintenance has been neglected, what repairs have been neglected, and we're going to get those all done and get that vehicle back out on the road where it needs to be. And that's how you as well can keep a vehicle as long as you like, because mileage does not matter, friends. It doesn't. It's maintenance. If you suck at maintenance, I can't help you. I can only encourage you, but I can't do it for you. But if you want to put money in the bank, big fat wads of steaming cash back in the bank, and stop trading time for money and making car payments, that's a decision you have to make. I made it a long time ago. And I'll tell you, if I ever see the bank manager that told me he hated small businesses, along with my friend Bob, who's been in business a lot longer than me, standing there, and we both got told that, it was like, wow, nothing says I love you more. Huh? Thank you. Thank you for the warm, fuzzy little hug. Get lost. He might as well have just said one word, get lost. Well, here's the thing. You don't have to trade all that time and money to make car payments, but you have to make that decision, because even when you're making car payments, the car's getting older, and this is what needs to be brought into perspective. The car, just because you're making car payments doesn't mean it's not aging, friends. Doesn't mean you're not packing mileage on it, friends. Doesn't mean you're not going to need any parts for it, friends. There's still maintenance on top of the car payments. So if you want to know, here's what I tell everyone. If you want to know what's covered on warranty, look at what's covered. That section. Who cares about what's not covered at this point? Because the covered list will let you know what's not covered. So if the items that are covered under vehicle warranty are short, guess what you get to cover? The rest. That's all on you. So even if you're buying an aftermarket warranty on a pre-owned car, pay close attention to what is covered on warranty. Don't worry about what's not covered. If you see the list, the grocery list of what is covered, and you see items that are of concern to you that aren't on that list, then guess what? They're not covered. That's how you buy any kind of warranty package, and that's how you understand a warranty package. It's that simple. Keep it simple. So if you or someone you know is very interested in keeping their vehicle long-term and forget the payment package and the car game, get out of the stinking car game, because as you're making payments, there's maintenance you still have to do that's not paid for you. Unless you buy a really high-end car, like if you're spending $100,000 plus, probably now closer to $200,000, you get oil changes for life, whatever that means. But they don't do your brakes, tires, fluids, filters, all that stuff for free. They still don't. No, you'll get oil changes. That's the cheap part. The rest is all up to you. So as you're making those payments for 5 years and paying interest, the car's getting older and it's going to need servicing. Just because it's under a car loan doesn't mean it's maintenance free. This is the problem. This is the marketing package that many of you have been sold, because that's the buzzword, right? I'm the buzzkill. They're the buzzword. Oh no, you don't need to maintain that. You don't have to do that, because they don't want you to do it. They want the car to go to hell in a handbasket. So by the time you make the last payment, you're disgusted and fed up with the thing because it's a piece of hoopty, and you go and get another one. That's the car game, friends. Right there. That is the car game. So let's, with that big intro, I thought I'd throw that in this morning because those are a couple areas where people get steered in the wrong direction. So when I'm working on 400,000 and plus now on an 07 Toyota FJ Cruiser, my friend Steve's at 644,000. Our 99 Honda Civic DX two-door hatchback, air conditioning, is so cold you can hang beef in there, and it's at 326,000. Folks, listen to me. And here's how I operate. It's very simple. I've been a tech for 45 years. I'm still very much hands-on. When I leave the microphone today, I got lots of mechanicals to do to get ready for Monday morning's video shoot. It doesn't matter how old it is, you still got to maintain it. If you want it to last longer, you still got to maintain it. You got to take care of these things. They're pieces of machinery. That's it, period. They're pieces of machinery. And when I look at the price tags today, I go, how much money for a piece of sheet metal and rubber? You got to be freaking kidding me. No, I'm not willing to do that whatsoever, because you don't have to. As long as you keep the structural integrity in solid condition, that means you don't have any Jenny Craig rust going on. And I call it weight reduction. I saw a car the other day. I shared it on the podcast. It almost made me cry how rough it was. And I'm looking at the driver. My heart just said she's a single mom just trying to get by. And she's trying to work it out. You know, we live in Canada. And even though things aren't that great right now, you know what? Think about it this way. Think about that person that's living in a tent somewhere on the side of the road, in the bush, under an overpass. Are you doing better than that today? Because if you are, then you're truly blessed. And my friend Tom used to say that. He lived right close to Marineland. He'd hear me say something negative. He goes, "Or are you having a better day than the guy that's living under an overpass?" Yeah. Got it. Message delivered. And that's it, friends, is we're in this thing together. And a man convinced against his will is of his own opinion still. That's how I live my life. If you want to do it your way, I am not going to stand in your way. But if you're looking for an alternative way out to save money, to get out of the car game, because that's exactly what it is. Because you know what? The Gen Zs have figured something out huge, and a big paradigm shift is about ready to come. And I'm not going to, spoiler alert, just yet, because I'm studying this. There is a paradigm shift that's going to happen that the car manufacturers are just going to go, "What? We didn't see that coming." So stay tuned. Stay tuned as I'm researching that. And I am still researching EVs. And I could care less about the car. When I do a series on it, there's some people that want me to phone them and let them know they want to tune in. It will have nothing to do with the car. It's going to be what's behind the curtain that none of you are seeing because the media is not telling you. But the information is readily available out there, and it is disgusting. The back behind the curtain, what it's all about, Alfie. It is. It truly is. And I am disgusted and fed up with the clowns behind it because they know. And they know they're hiding the behind the curtain stuff from you. And it's going to get worse. And the media is trying to suppress it as much as possible, but it's getting to a point where they can't. They can't. So wait and see. Wait and see. They're the danger zone in a very big way. Very big way. So be careful. If you own one, go do your homework. That's all I'm going to say. For your safety's sake and the safety's sake of your home, your belongings, and everything, do your homework. Yeah, because a man convinced against his will is of his own opinion still, period. That's the way it works. That's the way I've seen it work for 45 years in the automotive service and repair business. I can talk to you until I'm blue in the freaking face and tell you not to buy these specific vehicles are problematic. You will go and buy what's on my naughty list. Every single time. You'll ask me, "Oh, Motormouth, what should I buy?" And I would spend all kinds of time researching and consumers reports and things from the fellas that I know are working on different makes and models than I was at the time. And hey, what are you seeing? What are you seeing as vehicles you should probably as a consumer stay away, and you won't be a consumer. And you'll go and buy what's on the naughty list, no matter what. So that's why I say, buy what you like, do your due diligence, do your homework. But if you're going to do an opinion poll until, you say in your mind, well, when I get 3 people to completely agree with me on what I'm thinking, then that's a sign that I should go ahead and go do that. But I may have to talk to 150 people to get my 3. Am I willing to do that? That's what people do. I've watched it over and over again, and they bring their car in, and it's one of the ones that I said is on my naughty list. They're like, "Well, I really like it." And I go, "That's fine, because now you're going to pay me to fix it. So you just bought me a job." That's it exactly. I don't tell them that. I'm thinking that is like, hey, it's okay with me because you just gifted me a job. Exactly. Today's forecast. You ready? Say thank you to Tony Miele and Larry Tetro, our certified financial planners there. Here's an opportunity for you not to do an opinion poll about your finances and financial circumstances. Here's where you can get an hour and a coffee and leave your money at home and get a discovery meeting so you can get on track stay on track and probably hear some things that you might not want to hear, and it's uncomfortable. But you know what? It's better to know than not know, right? It's like car maintenance. It's better to know the health of your car than wait till it tells you, that you really aren't very good at maintenance. So you get that opportunity with 2 seasoned, certified financial planning professionals I've known for over 20 years, and they are my personal financial planners. These guys are 2 of the best. They have teams they work with. Their team are learning from 2 of the best over 50 years. So sit down with them, let them look at your investment portfolio, review it, and make sure that it's working properly for you, not for others, for you. If you're in debt and you're having a lot of sleepless nights, here's an opportunity for you to shed some of the crap and get it on the table and let them figure out how to deal with it. But don't do what I did twice. Listen to wrong advice. The opinion poll, here it is. Twice. And I lost everything. And when I say everything, I mean when your bank balance is 0. It doesn't matter what part of the world you're in, what language, it's 0. Twice. Listening to people that meant well but didn't know jack squat. Okay, I said it. That's it. They didn't know jack squat, but giving you advice. And so just don't do that. Don't do it. Estate planning, you've got to be the health proxy for those 18-year-olds living at home, period. And you need an estate plan. Because when something should happen, and I've heard this from the youngins, so grandparents and parents alike that are listening, no one plans to die. But we don't get out of this thing called life alive. FYI, you have to have an estate plan that's professionally put together, folks. You just do. You have a car, you got a checkbook, you got a home, you got toys, you got children. It all needs to be properly taken care of. So get that hour and a coffee. Do it today. Set it up. If you need a mortgage, their mortgage department is amazing to deal with. The ladies in Winnipeg are fantastic. They make you feel like you're a person, and I like that. Life insurance, critical illness insurance, car insurance, anything insurance may seem like an expense, friends, but when the moment you need it, it is a wise investment. Today's weather for Saturday, we'll do the whole weekend for you. 62 degrees right now, and it's beautiful out there. Sit out and have a cup of joe. The wind's making it feel cooler here along the south shores of Lake Erie and the Niagara region. It's sunny conditions will continue all day today. All day. Today's temperature range is from 61 to 82. Feels like 61 to 85. 0 on the rainometer this morning in the Niagara region. Looking good. Let's see what we got for Sunday. Sunday, fun day. Family Day. Sunday's low will be 65 between 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. So stay bundled up at between 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. And the high will be 82 degrees between 3 p.m. and 4 p.m. Tomorrow, this is Sunday, the temperature range will feel like 63 to 82, and it will feel similar to the actual temperature. On the rainometer in the Niagara region, south shores of Lake Erie, 0.25 of an inch. For the RAIN, my point is, I spell it because if it doesn't hear me say it, it ain't happening. That's my theory. I'm sticking with it. So the rainometer, RAIN, is 0.25. Let's get into it this morning. Thank you to Niagara Block, Kathy, Dave, and Dan Grimo, Next Gen, taking great care of you. If you're looking to do an addition on your home, you're going to need blocks. Foundational blocks, they make them. They make them right there in their facility, fresh every single day. They're made fresh and brought out of the steaming oven. I've seen it. It's amazing how they make them. It's crazy good. I love that kind of thing. They have cinder blocks, designer cinder blocks. So if you need a texture on the outside of the building or business or home, they have that. They have interlocking bricks. They have pavers, patio stones. They have all the fancy stones, angel stone, slabs. So if you want an English walkway, they can do that. Hardscape, landscaping materials, rebar, angle iron, all the things. They don't sell wood or eaves trough or windows or any of that. This is the big stuff that gets you your home looking amazing. So if you're looking to beautify your home on the outside with some landscaping, hardscape landscaping, they have everything. You can go and see the product and pick out the color of the stone, everything. It's outstanding what they do there to help you to beautify your home and create that beautiful outdoor living space as well that you can enjoy. Homepage of our website, that's where there's everything you need to connect with me. And I make sure that in the description boxes of the YouTube videos and our podcasts, I include a lot more automotive tech tips in there. So don't just surf or sift is what some people call it. I sifted your email. Well, why didn't you read the whole darn thing? Because then you would have known what I sent you in the email that we're talking about right now, because you sifted the email but didn't get the whole story. There, I said that. I got that off my chest now. What is the purpose then, friends? Somebody tell me. Somebody send me an email. What is the purpose of writing details in a text or putting details in an email if the person on the other end just sifts the information and misses 90% of it and doesn't even understand the 10% they think they understand? And then they're on the phone. Well, how come you didn't send me that? And I go, I put it in the email. Oh, it was in the email? I didn't see it. Oh, here it is. And just saying, my bookkeeper does that quite often. And then I'll just say, did you get my email? Yeah, I did. Did you read the whole thing? Well, I was in a hurry and I sifted it. So just remember, people are sifting. So on our homepage of our website, we've made it super easy for you to just point, click, and get there. So our YouTube channel's there. Please make sure that you subscribe, you like, give us a thumbs up. We're working diligently, Skippy and I. I think we have some fingers left, sort of. They're like little nubs. We can't turn pages now. We have to use an eraser. So help us get to our first 1,000 so we can get monetized, and then we can begin to implement all kinds of plans and strategies that we have for you to benefit you, which is why I do the whole thing in the first place. It's for you, to teach you what I've gotten to learn from some amazing instructors over 45 years. It's crazy good. These guys that I learned from are dead and gone, and they were amazing automotive service techs. They were amazing with their clients as well. So let's jump right into it this morning. And thank you to Niagara Block at 5000 Montrose Road. They're on our website. Top right-hand corner, we have our YouTube channel with 550 items there and 3 new videos every single week. A new one came out last night. I can't remember which one that is. Oh, that's called The Reveal. The Reveal. You have to watch that video, friends. And then please, I hope Skippy doesn't hear this, please put a comment in for Skippy, would you? This was a huge deal for her. A huge deal. And you got to watch that video. So I'm going to put a short out today. I'm just figuring out how I'm going to do it. I want to put a short out. I don't want to embarrass her, but I want to encourage her. Okay? So watch that video, The Reveal, and then you leave comments for her, for Skippy. It's very important. Okay? Thank you. Thank you for doing that. All right, let's jump in. You ready? First question this morning could have been yours, but I probably didn't see it in the pile because you probably maybe didn't send one or something like that. Yeah. All right. Here's what Joanne sent, and I read it as I get it. So for all you folks that are very anal retentive. Grammatical errors don't bother me at all, and I don't lose sleep, and I don't spill my coffee over it. Okay, so I read it as I got it. Starts off with love your show, Motormouth. Thank you, Joanne. Thank you for that. Encouraging words are always helpful. You know, there's destructive criticism, and then there's constructive criticism. And destructive criticism, as my professor taught me, is the death gargle of a loser. So just remember that. Nod, smile, let them be right. Let them hit you with the destructive criticism, and just know that's the death gargle of a loser. And leave it at that. Put the handbrake on and pull over and park. My car has a vibration. Well, that's like a massage for free. Sort of. Maybe. It's like hitting the rumble strips on purpose because you need a lower back massage. My car has a vibration that comes and goes as I'm driving. They can't seem to find anything wrong. Any ideas, Motormouth? Well, the one thing that I don't have an answer to is there a particular speed at which the vibration comes alive, like all of a sudden it's there? And is there a point on the speedometer where it goes away or lessens? That's one of the things I don't have an answer for from Joanne, but my assumption, and I don't like to use that word because we know what it means when you break it down, but in this particular case, when you're feeling a vibration, and the techs are probably looking for something like a ball joint, lower control arm, inner outer tie rod ends, maybe sway bar links, things that are loose in the steering part of things. And we did talk about that last week in my the dynamic trio. So if you haven't listened to that podcast yet, it's time. It is time. Coming up in the shop, we have a drive axle that needs to be replaced on one of our own, and I'm going to share that with you because there's a lot of tips and tricks into determining there's an upcoming mega problem if you don't cut it off before it gets there. So I won't spoil any more of that because we don't have that in our library. Removing and replacing a half shaft front drive axle on front wheel drives. Pretty much everything's front wheel drive today. So here's the thing, and that can even cause a vibration as well as the drive axle. But again, I'm assuming, because she says they I don't like that word, because they have been wrong many times. That's how I went bust twice, because they. Yeah. Get that hour and a coffee. Leave your money at home. The fellas aren't going to ask you for a single dollar. They're just going to see how they can, where you're at, Jaime, and where you want to go and how they can get you there. So she says they can't seem to find anything wrong, which leads me to believe it's been on the lift. They've looked it over, and Captain Obvious is not seeing anything. So I'm assuming they're not seeing anything wrong in the steering suspension. So I'm again assuming that's checkmarked and all is well. Go to bed. Yes, nothing to see here. Here's what I'm assuming. And here's how I would kind of tear this open for you. Number one, when you're feeling a vibration in your vehicle, pay close attention to a couple things. Are you feeling it in the seat of your pants? Not because you ate too much Mexican last night. The Spanish rice put you over the top. You know that, right? And the they call them ghost peppers. And Scotch bonnets. How many Scotch bonnets can you eat? Put that in an email for me. Right out of the package. If you're feeling the vibration in the seat of your pants, I need to know that as a tech. That's important. Are you feeling it in the steering wheel? Are you feeling it as though the whole car is giving you vibes? So those three things will help me to diagnose the situation. Are you feeling it in the butt? Are you feeling it in the steering wheel? Does it feel like the whole car is like shaking like an aircraft getting ready to leave the runway at V1? Yeah. If it's like that, then maybe you are in an aircraft. I don't know. But here's the thing. We could be dealing with something as simple as a tire issue. We got a tire that's worn, prematurely worn, kind of odd, and the tread may not be even. We may be dealing with a tire that's way out of balance. And that could be the case here. But like I said, I don't know when the vibration starts, if it's there all the time, if it comes and goes. If it comes and goes, it helps me to know when do you start to feel it, and look at the odometer and say, well, it's coming in around 60K. It's when I start to feel it, and it stays all the way to like 140. Oh, where do you get to drive 140? Oh, your planet. I got it. So, and here's the thing, folks. I am not going to go and road test your vehicle at 140, because if I get caught, it's my ticket. You know what I'm saying? It's your car, but it's my ticket. So I used to tell people that, well, it starts to really shake really bad at 140. I said, I can't road test it at 140. Well, why not? I said, because I don't wear a badge. That's why I'm a service tech. But I'll tell you right now that an officer pulls me over on a service road test at 140, he's going to say, you should know better. And ding, done. Yeah. He's not going to say, okay, you're on a road test. Well, where does that customer drive every day? What's their address? Yeah, exactly. You follow me? So here's what I'm thinking. If I were to put my best foot forward, I would say we've got a bad tire, or we've got a tire or two, or maybe three that are way out of balance. How many of you have had your tires rebalanced in the last 2 years? Probably not very many. Not very many. Why is that? Because you wait till something really happens before it gets your attention. But here's what's happening is, if your tires are out of balance, it's costing you fuel economy, and it's also wearing and tearing those tires up for you. So you're going to need tires sooner than later. So by thinking you're saving yourself some money by not having your tires balanced because you don't seem to think they need it on today's roadways, holy smokes. Yesterday I'm going through town and they're finally doing some road work on the main. Man, it's rougher than a stucco toilet seat out there. I didn't realize how bad that's getting because I got stuck in the curbside lane. I'm like going, try drink a coffee with no lid on it. You're gonna need to head back home for a diaper change. Yeah, you're gonna be a mess. So I say that to say that's what throws the balance off on your tires. How many of you know this? When the last time you had your tires balanced, how many wheel weights were on each tire? Did you write it down? Probably not. So how do you know your tire or two hasn't thrown a wheel weight off from the rough roads? How many of you would know that? Hey, honey, when did we lose the wheel weight on that left front wheel? Oh, I don't know, dear. I just haven't. I don't know. How many are we missing? All of them. Oh, is that a problem? Yes, it is a problem. So, I'm making fun of it in a nice way, but that's the reality. You don't know what you don't know. That's it. So you should be having those tires balanced. Here's the deal. If you're running winter tires, which you should be, but if you're not, again, that's your decision. That's your decision, your safety idea, whatever. A man convinced against his will is of his own opinion still. Summer tires will never be winter tires, period. Amen. Close the book. Try and convince me, because science is science. They're two different rubber compounds. And one goes hard at 40 degrees, and one is nice and soft and smooshy at minus 22. So anyhow, when you're taking off the winter tires and getting ready to put your summies on, is a perfect time to have the tech do a rebalance. And if you really want to find out how bad they were, just ask them, which tire was the worst? They'll tell you. The tech will tell you, oh, I had to take some weight off of this one. I had to put some on that one. That's money in the bank. You're not tearing your tires up because they're not balanced. When they're not balanced, that means they're scrubbing the road like a piece of sandpaper is a good way to explain it. So guess what? You're scrubbing those tires away, and it's costing you. So for Joanne, I would say we need a tire tech to get in there and pull all four wheels. And before he does anything, needs to check them and verify each and every tire. Was it in balance or out of balance? And do we have a tire that has what we call radial run out? It's kind of gone goofy, and it can cause a vibration. And that vibration could be a tire that's getting ready to go whiz bang. That's what we say. Whiz bang. So we don't want to take that chance. So we need to get those tires off onto the balancer. And when we're speeding them up to now we're with the machines we have now, we can balance them in right to the nut. And on a lot of cars, if the tires aren't balanced right to the nut, the system flags the vehicle. So then a service light comes on. One of them that comes to mind is Cadillac. It's the design of the wheels and the sensitivity that is a real problem. Those tires and rims have to be balanced on a proper machine in order to get them dialed right in. But as for most vehicles out there, every season before those summer tires go on, and your winter tires should also be balanced. It's a perfect time while they're off the vehicle for them to put them on the machine and tweak them as necessary. That way you're not wearing them out prematurely. Great question, Joanne. Thank you for sharing that with us. And all those that have sent questions in, it's a complimentary thank you for your time. I'll be sending you a car connection maintenance schedule kit so that you can stay the course with your vehicle maintenance. And that is actually on the list. It is on my list somewhere. I'm looking at one right now, but rebalancing of the tires is on there for you so that it's tracked. You're tracking it. You don't have to think about it. The alignment's on there. Yeah. Anyways, better move on. We got 2 more questions to go and just a little time to get there. Question number 2 comes in from Irene. Enjoying your podcasts and videos. Thank you, Irene. Appreciate that. Stay in touch with us. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and, tootle the bell. Ring the bell so that you don't miss any new videos coming out. Here's what Irene writes. Enjoying your podcasts, your videos, helpful to us women on their own. Found some green fluid on the floor of my garage. Is this bad? Well, it's a leak, that's for sure. It's green. It's more than likely antifreeze unless your vehicle was snatched from the garage by the aliens and they forgot some slime somewhere and it fell off. Probably not likely. Might want to get some Reynolds aluminum, cover the car up at night so it doesn't get scanned again. Now, here's the thing. If you're parking your vehicle in the garage and you pull it out and you see some fluids on the floor, don't panic, because here's the upside. Though I call those warning signs. I would rather see the car give me a warning sign by a drip, a ooze, or a puddle than that happens out on the road at highway speeds. You know, that 140 you guys are driving? Yeah, because that could be a turn into a huge leak and burn the engine out. Overheat it, boom. It goes kaboom or kapooey. We don't want that. So the fact that Irene's seeing some green fluid, which is more than likely antifreeze. Something is leaking. There's the indicator. You've gotten the indicator that the vehicle's saying, I got a leaker. I couldn't hold it. I'm in Continental. So now we can get to it and find out what it is. Pressurize the cooling system and have a visual and see where is it coming from. It could be a warning sign that the water pump's giving out because it has a little weep hole on it. Not a weep hole, a weep hole. And when the seal starts to shrink or is wearing, you'll get a little dribble of antifreeze out of that weep hole. And so it'll run down and it'll hit the garage floor or your driveway. So that means that's a telltale sign something's going on. Do we have a hose clamp that's rotting off or a hose that's got a small leak in it? The fact that there's some green stuff on the floor, that's a good thing because it's not a great big puddle. Notice she didn't say, I got the Exxon Valdez in my garage overnight. No, we've got some fluid. That's an indicator. Now we can get it in the shop, pressure test the cooling system, review the water pump and see if it's coming out of the weep hole. Is there a leak in the side of the radiator? Is there a hose that's coming apart? And now we can get in there and we can verify. Again, remember the 4 C's: concern, cause. We need to get after the cause and see what needs to be done and what's determined to be the causal component that's allowing that green fluid to be on the garage at Irene's house. So that's, like I said, it's a good thing. I like to look at it this way. The fluid on the floor is the service light. It's a service light saying, hey, buddy, I'm just letting you know I'm losing my cookies here. So now, Irene, get it to the shop. Get them to pressure test the cooling system and verify exactly where that leaker's coming from and what needs to be done to prevent it from getting any bigger and causing an overheat situation, leaving you on the side of the road with the hood up and the steam coming out. And that is not a good sign because that's when catastrophic damage can happen to your engine. Cooling system is the number one fail point because of lack of maintenance, and it still remains to be the number one pain point for people because it's the number one non-maintenance is being done. Nothing, zero. So here's an opportunity for Irene's cooling system to get a really good review and get after it before anything else happens because there's always cause and effect. Always. In the car repair business, there's cause and effect. So we want to get in there and see what's going on and get it corrected and do any upgrades that should be done. If it's a hose, then that's an indicator. Guess what? The rest of the hoses, unless you've had some replaced, they're all the same age. So here's what I do. I got to drain the cooling system anyway. Let's do some cooling system hose updates. Replace everything we can get a hose for and just do it. Get them out of there. Because belts and hoses are only good for 2 to 5 years. That's it. They rot. Hoses rot from the inside out, not the outside in. Unless something is rubbed on it, but that's not wear. It's damage. It's damage. Okay, question number 3 comes in from KateLyn. Another great question. Have you noticed the issue with these questions that ties them together? Indicators. Just thought I'd tell you that. There's an indicator something is going wrong. The vibration, the coolant on the floor in the garage, the green stuff. Well, number 3, here we go. KateLyn writes, enjoying your videos and podcasts. Thank you, Motormouth, and thank you, KateLyn. We really appreciate that. I'll pass that along to Skippy as well. Couldn't do what we're doing without her. I went to fill up my washer fluid, and it's pouring out from somewhere. Is this going to be, is this going to cost a lot? your help is appreciated. I just experienced that actually with a vehicle. I was pouring it in, and then I'm hearing water running, and I look down and I ran quickly to get a clean pan to catch it. The windshield washer fluid was pouring out somewhere down below the washer bottle, and it ended up being that there was a crack at a certain level of the fluid. Once the fluid reached that crack, and then it was weeping out, coming down the side of the washer bottle and dripping off the bottom and coming outside just below the bottom of the fender at the front. So it could be a hose that has come off or deteriorated, because the windshield washer hoses, they get stiff and brittle, and they can crack anytime they want to. Anytime. So what's important here is to get somebody in there to have a look and see what's going on. What I generally do is if I think it's down in the hose, is I will disconnect the hoses up top around the hood squirters and reduce my air pressure off my compressor down to like 8 psi, and I'll just blow some air through and listen and see if I can hear hissing. And I usually can. I can hear some air hissing, and I know it's a line. It's not the tank, because some of these washer bottle tanks, I think it's the first thing in the car when they're building it, and then they package the vehicle around it. That's my thoughts. It really, really is. Some of them are very tough to get to, so before I dismantle half the car to get the washer bottle out to review it, because it's hidden behind the inner fender liner and all kinds of other stuff. On Chryslers, the computer's jammed in there. Beautiful place to put that, of course. In a country where we have 4 seasons and salt brine, yeah, that's a great place to put your computer, is in behind where the washer bottle is. So that's why I use my low air pressure test from the washer nozzles to determine if it's a hose. Great, then I know I got to go after it. If it's a hose that goes down to the washer bottle, I got no choice than to pull the fender liner out to get to the connections down there and see what's happened. But it's nothing to panic about. But if the tech's got to get in there and get the washer bottle out, it's going to be a labor thing on being able to get that washer bottle out. And some of the washer bottles can be $300-$400. So just be prepared that if it's just a hose, that's not too bad. But if it's beyond that, it could get a little expensive. So be prepared for that. And that's why it's so important, folks. Just run minus 50 or minus 45 washer fluid all year round. That way, when the temperature change comes and we get a dip overnight, your washer bottle doesn't crack. Yeah, it just saves you money. So stay away from the cheap stuff in the summer. Just run the winter washer fluid all year round, and then you don't have to be concerned about the temperature dropping. I've got summer washer fluid in there. That is just such a headache and a waste of time. You got to pay somebody to get it all out of there, so you can put the heavier washer fluid in there for the winter, minus 45. I use minus 50, not a penny less, because I too do not want to be replacing washer bottles. Well, that pretty much wraps up today's Motormouth Morning Drive Saturday Q&A. You guys and gals have yourself a wonderful, wonderful sunny weekend. Remember, sunscreen before you get crispy, and keep hydrated, because it's going to be a little bit on the hot side still. We're in the 80s, and we'll see you bright and early Monday morning for another Motormouth Morning Drive here on all platforms: Amazon, Spotify, Apple, Podbean, wherever your friends or yourself are pulling podcasts from. Just put in the search bar Car Connection Workshop, or better yet, go right to our YouTube channel link on the homepage of our website at ccbusnet.com. Happy, healthy motoring, peace, patience, and kindness always. We'll see you Monday morning in the next one. Bye for now.